Welcome back to Just One More Trip. Today I want to talk to you about searching for flights, specifically using 3 of my favorite travel websites. The first one is theflightdeal.com, which is a travel blog. The second one is Google Flights, and the third one is Google's ITA search matrix. I'm going to be using this new screencast software, so let's see how this works. This is theflightdeal.com. This is my all-time favorite travel resource. I love using this to find cheap flights. That's all they post. They post roughly 10 deals a day of whatever cheap flights that they find. The criteria for a deal for them is anything that is 6 cents per mile that you fly or less. So from point A to point B, for instance, Newark to St. Thomas, whatever 6 cents times those miles are, $285 is less than that. So they posted it. They post from all cities, so they don't discriminate. You can't ask them to post from more from a certain city or not. They just post what they post whenever it's a good deal. So it's something that you just have to keep your eye on. If you see a city on sale close to where you are, it might be a good cue to do a search for the city that you're in as well, because they don't always post from every single city. For instance, if it's $600 from San Francisco to Rio, and it's also $600 from LA to Rio or Salt Lake City to Rio, wherever it is, they're not going to do 3 different posts. They're just going to post from San Francisco. Let's see. The format of their posts are like this. So they'll post the airline that you find it on. For instance, this one's Delta. This one here is on LOT Polish Airlines. This one's on JetBlue. This one's on United. Then it'll tell you the cost of the ticket. So this is $608 for San Francisco to Rio. All of their posts are typically round trip, including all taxes, since that's how the formatting of prices are required to be in the US currently. So I will take a look at the deals for today. Again, you're going to want to just look at posts from today and maybe some posts from yesterday, but to stay to look at the most relevant and recent information, the deals that are most likely still there, you want to look at these. So let's take a look. See, that's Salt Lake, but I don't want to go to Barbados. If I don't see anything that interests me, then I might just do a different search on my own. But let's say, for instance, if I lived on the East Coast, I wanted to look into this flight deal from Newark to St. Thomas. So I'll click that blog post. Again, it'll have the information at the top here. And it shows sample travel dates, how to search it using the ITA software matrix, one of the sites that I'm going to show you later, and any other information that's relevant. If there's anything specific or special about the deal, they're going to post it here. They're going to say you must book by this day or anything like that. Here's another note that is similar to what I was saying before. Please note that while this fare is valid at the time of posting, if the post is more than 2 days old, the fare is likely gone. So this is just a blog. Again, this is just information. This tells me the airline, the cost, and the cities to look for. So what I'm going to do with this information is take it and go over to Google Flights. So this is one of my favorite search engines, or I would say this is my #1 search engine, my go-to. If I'm even just playing around with dates and cities, trying to see what's on sale or what's not on sale, this is where I'll go. So google.com/flights. So the deal that we saw was Newark, so EWR, to St. Thomas. And if you don't know the airport codes, like I just know a lot of them off the top of my head, you just start typing the city and it'll pop up. So these are the cities that the blog post told me to look at. This little plus icon here next to the city, you're going to want to click that. You don't have to do it all the time, but it shows you other airports within a certain vicinity of the airport that you typed in, and sometimes it might be cheaper if you leave out of JFK, for instance, instead of Newark, because it's not that far, or LaGuardia. Right now it's showing me that Newark is going to be the cheapest. You can do that for the departure either, or also the arrival city. Let's see, these are the other islands, the other airports close by. St. Thomas is the cheapest. but sometimes that'll save you some money. Like if you're flying to LA, sometimes Burbank is cheaper or Long Beach, and that's the way to look into that without clicking around or doing too many searches. This is my favorite feature of Google Flights. When you click on the date to select your departure date, the calendar pops up. However, if you look closely, the calendar has prices on every single day that's available. This allows you to see the cheapest possible flight for every single day. If you departed on the 13th, 14th, 15th, whatever days you're looking at, it gives you the cheapest option. For instance, if I left on February 3rd, it would be $265 round trip for a return on the 7th. So I don't know the return until I hover the arrow over that. But if I click the 3rd, say I want to try and take advantage of this cheap deal, the calendar changes to the return date. Now the return date tells you all the possible costs for every possible return date based on the departure date of the date that you picked. So based on a departure date of February 3rd, these are all the costs for every single return date that I could potentially have. So let's say I want to spend a week in St. Thomas, I will click the 11th because that's $265. Oh, and if you notice back here in the calendar, the cheapest prices will be in green. So that's another benefit of, or another feature of Google Flights. It makes it easy for you to see the cheapest dates. So I click that and I take a look. This gives me all my flight options, all the airlines, all the prices. It even has the layovers on the right here. It says nonstop, one stop. It tells me how long my layovers are and where they are, just at a glance. On the bottom here, there's this option to show 122 longer or more expensive flights. So if I click that, that's going to expand this to show me that there are actually quite a few other flights that are of a similar price on American Airlines, a little bit more, but they have different layovers. For instance, this one has 23 hours in Charlotte. So this would actually work out really well for me if I had a friend that I wanted to visit in Charlotte. So I could click that and it would only be $40 more if I wanted to do that option. But if I just wanted to take advantage of the cheapest ones and ones with a shorter layover, I might click this one on Delta. So if I click this one on Delta, then my return options are typically going to be on Delta because it's really difficult to combine flights from different airlines without the price getting too expensive. But if you do see that, like how there's a United option here, typically that means that you're going to find that flight combination, Delta and United, on an OTA, which is an online travel agency. And that means that these are websites that sell airline tickets, websites like Orbitz, Travelocity, Expedia, Priceline, those types of websites. Those are online travel agencies or OTAs. Let's take a look at American Airlines. So let's say that I have status on American, so I prefer American flights. So it's worth it for me to fly on American rather than Delta. I'm going to click this one. See, that gives me a 3-hour stop in Miami. That's great because that gives me time to buy some Cuban food at the airport or do whatever I want to do. On the way back, there's a 1-hour layover in Charlotte. So that is a nice short layover coming back. Scroll down. Gives me the option to book with American. $304. Sometimes it'll also give you OTAs down here like Priceline, Orbitz, and you'll have the option to click that as well. But if you want to hit this, book with American, you click it. This is an amazing feature, another feature of Google Flights. It'll open up American's website and pre-populate all the fields with the flights that I just picked. So I don't have to open American's website and try to match the same flights and prices that I just had. It'll automatically give me the same price, $303.26. It rounds up by $1. And all I have to do is enter my passenger information and payment information here. So that is an amazing, amazing feature of Google Flights. Another one here is that you can save your searches. If you hit Save Itineraries, and you go to View Saved Itineraries, then it'll track your flights as well, the prices. So if you want to save several flights, saying, I want to look at a flight, one of the Delta flight routings, and I also want to keep an eye on this American flight routing, you save them both to your account, and it'll have a graph and it'll tell you what's cheaper if you want to wait to buy the ticket. So I love using Google Flights for these reasons. There's also this option here in the map. When you click Explore Destinations, it takes your departure city and the dates that you looked at, and it tells you the prices for other destinations for the same dates. So let's see. For instance, oh look, Bogota is $391 round trip from February 3rd to February 11th. It's not going to give me the other options that that you can see on the other page that we were on, like the calendar drop downs, but I can go back to that. Oh look, Cancun is actually slightly cheaper than St. Thomas. So if I click that, it'll update this to show me that United is having the sale to Cancun from Newark, and it's $258 round trip. And it gives me the best flight options, just a summary of the best 3 flight options here. So this is a good way to kind of just get an idea of maybe I want to go somewhere else, but I only have this weekend, or if you're just trying to get a sense of what you have available to you, that is a great way to do it. The next website that I use that I love is the ITA Matrix. This is ITA software by Google. So essentially, this is the search engine that powers Google Flights. Now, it's important to note that for Google Flights and the Matrix here, they don't include all airlines, but they search most airlines all at once. But they don't include discount airlines like Southwest, and they don't include Turkish Airways. They include several other airlines, but then they exclude some just based on agreements that they have. Southwest doesn't show its prices on any other website. You can only buy Southwest tickets on their website, so that's one of the reasons there. So how you use this website is you enter your departure city. So that one was Newark, and then the destination. Let's do Cancun since we saw that was on sale as well. Like the plus function, the nearby function on the Matrix allows you to select a distance that you want to see other airports within, or what vicinity you want to look at. And you can select, I want to depart from Newark, LaGuardia, or JFK, or possibly even Boston or something like that. You click away and it'll search all flights from Newark or LaGuardia or JFK to Cancun, and it'll give you the cheapest options. But I just want to stick with Newark because I know that one's on sale. The best thing to do with the Matrix here is to use the calendar of lowest fares option. So you want to select see calendar of lowest fares. The exact dates option is not the best. And I'll show you why the calendar is the best thing to do. So let's say I have spring break in April. I want to see calendar of lowest fares starting from April 1st. You can select any date you want, and a month later. So it's going to give me fares between April 1st and May 1st. And then you can also select a range of dates. So I want to go for a weekend, maybe a little longer, maybe a little shorter. I want to select 2 to 5 nights. So that'll let me see the cheapest fares between that are between Newark and Cancun for 2, 3, 4, and 5 nights. Anything more than you can't have a range more than 7, or else this error pops up. For instance, 2 to 10 says the difference cannot be greater than 7 days. But let's stick with 2 to 5, just for fun, just to see what's cheapest. And you hit search. It's funny note here. It says for faster results, try Google Flight Search. So that's one way that you know that they're trying to convert their searches and people that use their website over to Google Flights. They're essentially the same searches, but they work a little differently. Here, so it gives you the cheapest price for every possible departure date for that month between 2 to 5 nights. And so when you hover your arrow over it, it tells you which one it's showing. So this one's 4 nights, this one's 2 nights, but it also gives you the price and the option to select the other nights here. So let's say I want to go for a weekend, and let's do April 22nd. You know, it's only $1 more to get back on Monday, so let's do this so I miss the least amount of work. And it'll give me all my flight options. The thing about this one is that you can't purchase a ticket on this website. That's what makes it different. So when the flights load, you can select which ones you want. The first line will be the departure date, and the second line will be the return date for any given line item of flight here. Let's see. It gives you all the flights in order from cheapest to the most expensive, and then you'll have the airline, the times, the cities, the duration, any layover stops here, any advisories. For instance, this means an overnight flight here. So let's just say I want the cheapest one. I'll just select this one. It gives me the breakdown of the flights and the tickets. However, under how to buy this ticket, you notice it says tickets cannot be purchased directly from ITA software. So you have to provide this information or you have to transfer it over to a website or call in a reservation line in order to book it. And you should be able to match exactly or nearly exactly the base fares. So these are the base fares and fees, and it should add up to the same. But this is as far as you can go on the ITA matrix. It does have a few more airlines, and it searches things a little bit differently than Google Flights sometimes, but I like to use both. Lately I've been using Google Flights a little bit more just because they've been integrating more capabilities from the matrix into Google Flights, such as having the that plus option that I was showing you. Where is that? This little plus bar. Having this map is also really amazing. But if you can't find what you want on Google Flights, or if the prices aren't matching up like how you think they should, you can always double check on the matrix as well. So these are my 3 favorite flight search tools, and I hope that some of this was useful. I will go into more detail about other things you can do for flight searches later on, but for now, these are the top 3 websites that I have for you. See you next time!